Lindsay, and today I'll show you the activity Water, Water Everywhere. This activity can be very versatile in terms of grade levels, and depending on the depth of your discussion as well as the follow-up activities you choose to do, this activity can be appropriate in grades 3 through 5, middle school, and even high school. In the activity, we'll be finding the very small amount of fresh water available on the planet for human use. This is a subject that ties very nicely in with science classes, environmental sciences, but in addition, at the end of the activity, students will be using mathematical calculations to determine their individual water use in a day. So because of this, the activity can also fit very nicely in with the mathematics classroom. Before beginning the demonstration, you'll want to ask your students just a few questions to activate their background knowledge. For example, have students see if they can name all the places on the planet where we can find water. Next, have students think about all the ways in which they use water during the day. After a short discussion, you're ready to begin the demonstration. For this activity, we have said that all the water on the earth is equivalent to 1,000 milliliters. So in my graduated cylinder, I have 1,000 milliliters of water. It helps to use blue food coloring to dye the water so that it's easier for students to see as you're distributing the water. What we'll be doing is dumping water from this cylinder into these containers to show how water is distributed around the globe. First, let's start with oceans. Oceans make up 97.1% of all the water on the planet, equivalent to 971 milliliters. So first what I'll do is dump all of the water into this bucket and then fill up my cylinder to 971 milliliters. So now that we have 971 milliliters, I'm going to dump this into our oceans bucket. The next largest portion we'll look at is polar ice. Polar ice makes up 2.2% of all of the water found on the planet, which is equivalent in this activity to 22 milliliters. So I'll go ahead and dump that into my second container. Next, we'll be looking at deep groundwater. Deep groundwater accounts for 0.3% of all the water on the planet, which for this activity will be 3 milliliters. Before beginning the activity, be sure to fill up your deep groundwater container with just a little bit of dirt or sand to make this a little bit more realistic. The next category, other, encompasses all the water that's found in clouds, living tissue, glaciers, and saltwater lakes. This is equivalent to just 0.1% of all the water on the earth, which will be 1 milliliter. Now that I have my 1 milliliter, I'll go ahead and dump that into our other container. So lastly, we have fresh water. Fresh water makes up only 0.3% of the water on our planet, equaling 3 milliliters for this demonstration. After you finish the demonstration, hold up this small amount of fresh water and remind students of the discussion at the beginning of the activity. They'll find that most of the water they use on a daily basis comes from this very small fraction. In the second part of this activity, the water use audit, students use the provided worksheet to calculate how many gallons of water they use individually on a daily basis. The worksheet walks through both pretty obvious domestic uses of water, including how many gallons are used for a low flow faucet versus a standard faucet, taking a shower, cooking a meal, etc., as well as some of the less obvious indirect uses of water that students may not be as familiar with. For example, how many gallons of water are used to create that 1 pound of grain-fed beef or 1 pound of cotton, as well as looking at some industrial uses. How many gallons of water are used to create 1 gallon of gasoline, and so on. There's also some discussion questions on the back, encouraging students to think about ways that they could decrease their personal consumption of water usage. And that's Water, Water Everywhere.